ironically, they called it degenerate art or entartete Kunst, and later adopted a lot of the Bauhaus principles. So, a bit of a disaster actually. This park on both sides you see here is actually enormous. It's called the Tiergarten, or the Animal Garden, and it was originally the outside of the city, which meant that the emperor would use this as a hunting ground. So everything you see here is actually second growth. The winter of 1945 was the coldest in German history at that point, and the 1.5 million homeless people in Berlin cut the whole thing down to use it as firewood. And this lady in front of us on her tower, do we see her? Okay, she's called the Siegessäule, or the Victory Column. And she was built to celebrate the victory in 3 wars in Europe, engineered by a man named Otto von Bismarck, that brought Prussia together as a country. Remember when I was pointing at the map, 1871? This guy. So, the lady up top is Victoria, goddess of victory, and those gold circles around her are actually gold-gilded French cannons from the Franco-Prussian War. Now, the other really interesting thing, for me at least, is that she shouldn't be here at all. She was moved. 1939, the Nazis actually moved her from where she used to stand behind the Reichstag, the Parliament building, to here, as part of Hitler's plan to turn Berlin into what was going to be called Germania, the ancient Roman word for Germany, and he wanted to make Berlin into the Hauptstadt, world capital city. They actually also added another ring in the bottom, so she's some 3 odd meters taller than she used to be, but never mind. And actually, as we drive by as well, you'll see on the left the columns, little structure over there, and on the right there's another one with columns. These are the original entrances to the pedestrian walkways underground that Hitler's architect Albert Speer had actually built in 1941. Still in use. This guy standing up here, the statue, this is a man named Moltke. General Moltke was one of Otto von Bismarck's generals, and in addition to being part of a scandal involving homosexuality, because he was most likely a homosexual, he was also, he goes in history as being the first voice of a person born in the year 1800 that we actually still have a record of. So Thomas Edison's wax cylinder recording process, he was one of the very first test subjects. And as it turns out, those were all left in an attic until 1953. They didn't have the device to play it at that point until 1993, and now we've photographed the cylinders and we can change the optical image into an audio signal. And it's really kind of interesting to listen to him talk. You hear this man reciting Goethe in obviously very good German, reciting Shakespeare in pretty good English, and then saying something rather poignant, which is, and now you are listening to the voice of someone speaking to you from beyond the grave. This is Schloss Bellevue on the left, this is the President's Palace. We have a new one, his name is Steinmeier. He's not very important. He's actually far less important than our Chancellor, Angela Merkel, who actually has command of the show. I actually was giggling the other day because I went to see a concert at the concert house and Steinmeier was there, and there were all of about 17 people standing around taking pictures of him. That was it. He has technically power of veto, but in practice he doesn't use it and can't. The president is a perfunctory, decorative figure, basically.